Welcome to MarketSnap's Daily Market Rundown. The big story today wasn't just about a market taking a breather after an epic quarter. It was about a massive rotation happening right under our noses. Chip stocks that led the charge for months got absolutely hammered, while the software and cloud names that everyone had written off suddenly came roaring back. If you blinked, you might have missed the wealth transfer happening in real time. The first trading day of the second half kicked off with a bit of a hangover. After the S&P 500 and Nasdaq posted their best quarterly performances since 2020, investors decided to take some chips off the table. The Dow slipped just a hair, the S&P 500 dipped, and the Nasdaq took a more noticeable hit. But the headline numbers don't tell you where the real action was. Let's look at the scoreboard. The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed essentially flat, down just a few points. The S&P 500 shed about 0.25%. The Nasdaq Composite was the laggard, falling over 0.5%. The Russell 2000, our small-cap gauge, also dipped a bit. The VIX, the market's fear gauge, ticked up slightly to just under 17, suggesting a little bit of anxiety crept in. This was a day of reckoning for the semiconductor trade. The list of losers reads like a who's who of the AI chip boom. Micron, which has been on an absolute tear, plunged over 10%. Intel wasn't far behind, dropping 9%. Applied Materials, Lam Research, KLA Corporation, all down double digits. Corning, which has ridden the fiber optic wave for AI data centers, fell over 13%. It was a brutal session for the hardware side of the AI trade. So where did the money go? Right into the software and platform names. Meta Platforms absolutely exploded, jumping nearly 9% on news they're building a cloud business to sell AI computing power. Palantir surged almost 8% on a sovereign AI partnership with NVIDIA. AppLovin, Shopify, ServiceNow all up big. This was a textbook rotation out of the picks and shovels and into the companies actually deploying the AI. Looking at the megacap movers, it was a tale of two cities. Apple and Amazon were green, grinding higher. But the real story was the divergence. While Meta and Palantir were flying, NVIDIA itself was down slightly. SpaceX, which has been a hot name, dropped over 7%. The market is clearly trying to figure out who the real winners are in this next phase of the AI cycle. The macro backdrop was dominated by Fed Chair Kevin Warsh, who was making the rounds at the ECB forum in Portugal. He gave a very deliberate, data-dependent speech, saying inflation risks have come down, but that prices are still too high. He declined to give any hints on the July rate decision, which is his style. He hates forward guidance. Wall Street veteran Bob Dahl summed it up perfectly. The bulls need Warsh on their side to keep winning. On the data front, the ADP employment report showed private sector hiring slowed a bit in June, coming in below expectations. But the manufacturing sector continues to chug along, with the ISM index showing expansion for the sixth straight month. Michael Burry also made headlines, placing new short bets against some big AI names, including Tesla, Caterpillar, and Applied Materials. He's calling it the beginning of the end. Zooming out to the sector level over the past week, technology was the clear winner, followed by healthcare and industrials. The rotation is real. On the flip side, real estate and utilities were the laggards, along with communication services, which is interesting given that Meta is in that sector. Looking ahead, the earnings calendar for this week is relatively quiet, but we do have some notable names. General Mills reports tomorrow, and we'll get Constellation Brands later in the week. These consumer staples names will give us a good read on the health of the American consumer. You can find exclusive earnings transcript summaries on MarketSnap. That's a wrap for today's stock market summary from MarketSnap. Thanks for tuning in. The big takeaway today is that the AI trade is alive and well, but it's shifting. Don't get caught holding the bag on last quarter's winners if the fundamentals have changed. Stay engaged with MarketSnap summaries and SWOT analyses to keep your portfolio ahead of the curve. We'll see you tomorrow.